Hey, Eric.
Former Detroit Tigers pitcher Jeff Agar. How are you?
Well, that was really former, like capital F for former.
How old were you when you finally said, I can't do it anymore?
I think I must have been 20, 28 maybe. 27, 28, I think it was.
When you were growing up and playing sports, baseball at like high school level, were you the kind of guy who not only was a great pitcher but could also hit?
The only thing I know about good hitting, Eric, is it doesn't look that tough because I used to stand 60 feet from guys doing it pretty easily. So
okay,
I was not a great hitter. I was a very average hitter, and I was pretty much an average athlete too. You never looked at me and watched me play and said, "Oh man, this guy's destined to be, a professional player at any level."
But you could pitch.
Yeah, I could pitch. Well, I could throw hard. Was my only claim to fame. Like in football, I could throw a football long ways, but I'm so slow. So I would just be brought in to throw deep bombs if we had to sometimes. But and in baseball, I could throw away hard, but I was not a great athlete.
Oh, for fuck's sake! You've got to be kidding me. His face must have just hung up on me. He's still talking. I can promise you, he's still talking right now. What the fuck is going on here? I've had some great luck.
Oh, did I lose you?
That's all right. No big deal.
Okay, sorry. I'm not sure what happened there.
That's okay. I have no idea.
Where were we at?
We're talking about now. When you played, that was at the time when Sparky Anderson was the manager, and Lance Parrish and then Kirk Gibson. All those guys were in spring training with you.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. Listening to Sparky Anderson just give speeches to the guys was pretty extraordinary. It was a different game back then, but he was famous for sitting there telling guys, "Look, this is effing war," and he would just go off. And you don't see that kind of passion today. And I get it's a different world, but man, it translates into life when you start thinking about this. This is a battle, and you can. Even the guys like Bob Gibson, during the All-Star games, he refused to talk to other players because they were his competitors. And
wow.
It's kind of a different world back then, but man, it taught you that you really got to give it your all. And it's about winning and losing, nothing else. So it was an interesting time, but the players I played with, I became decent friends with Dan Petrie, one of the greatest guys in baseball. Jack Morris was hilarious. I sat on a bus next to him one day going to a game, and just one of the funniest guys, just hilarious, just amazing. So it was a cool time, but I was not a stellar athlete for sure. I could throw really hard, but beyond that, I was pretty average.
So for the longest time, you and your beloved son, Johnny, have just been hogging the spotlight. And then out of the blue, is Annie your middle or oldest?
She's the middle. So Johnny is the oldest, Annie's in the middle, and Gracie is the youngest.
Okay. Out of the blue, Annie now has, through social media and her ability to, she's really dove into, she was a big sports enthusiast and would write and talk and report on sports before she got into social media. Isn't that correct?
Mm-hmm. It is true. Yep. She loved it. And she was working at Wood TV, covering high school sports primarily. She covered some college sports. She would go film games at Michigan State and Michigan and cover stuff like that. But mainly she was doing high school sports.
She started making hilarious videos. She would write them. Mm-hmm. She would shoot them. She would edit them and then publish them. The one that she has pinned to the top of her social media is her with the Zoom interview with all of the Big Ten schools. Very, very funny. And it kind of has taken off from there, correct?
It really did. She was sitting around, with no sports going on because of COVID and really nothing to do. She moved back home with us and was just there thinking, what do you even do to keep people engaged with sports? And she knew that people were missing that part of sports of the bantering back and forth. And then kind of out of the blue, and everybody was having Zoom meetings for any kind of thing going on. And so she thought, but what would be hilarious is if the Big Ten had a Zoom meeting to talk about football starting up again. And then she just started thinking about all the typical characteristic things about each school, the Michigan State, the heavy drinking, the Michigan, a little bit full of themselves. and all the other schools, and then the Brainiacs at Northwestern. So, and the fact that, nobody even knows that Rutgers really even exists, and back then anyway. So she put this together, and the video was just so funny, and it really hit the spot of what people really wanted. And then several people, Desmond Howard and Rich, I think it's Eisner from ESPN saw it, and they all tweeted it out, and it just exploded. And so then, and she even said when she first put it out, she didn't think it would go anywhere, but she said, I may have to do more of these if you guys like them or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's funny looking back at it now. Pretty interesting comments to think that you really predicted that the future would unfold for her like that. But I certainly think 3 years ago she was making $12 an hour, freezing her butt off filming high school football games.
Right.
And now here she is, really living a phenomenal life. It's tough work for sure. It's like grueling days and hours of work all the time, but you love it. And she loves it. She travels all over the country and gets to meet pretty extraordinary people now and developing content for people. So it's incredible what she's gone from and to.
So is her goal to keep, so for now that's what it is, but is there a long-term, like is there perhaps hosting on a network, game day things that you see sometimes people will discuss the weekend's games or something like that on CBS or NBC or something?
Yeah, that's a really good question. She's trying to think about what she does. A couple of things on that. The tough thing is if you were to set this goal, you never would have even known it was possible. So sometimes goal setting can limit you, right? I mean, it's good to have some goals, but it can limit you from something that you never would even dreamed of. So she's trying to focus more on she's trying to create content that people like, and then she feels like that will lead to some other really good things. But she's not set on one path or another just because you kind of see that there was no way to predict this path, right? But if your goal was entertain, make people happy, feed their need for sports and the stuff that they want to cover, trying to do that every day has really opened up some incredible doors for her. So, I think that the potential for her is huge. Sometimes her format and her structure and her humor doesn't always lend itself to just sitting there, and being in more of in certain types of roles versus others. If she has some creativity to do things, then that's really where she excels.
Now, from a father's standpoint, this has to be, I mean, for me, if my daughter was doing this, I don't know about you, but I'd be scared to death because there's just weirdos. There's a lot of weirdos out there, Jeff. How do you do that? Does she have enough in place where it's like she can be insulated from bad things that exist out there? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you hope so. The number one thing she said is, I cannot respond to any comment at all, no matter what the comment is. And she and her agent are adamant about that. They don't need the dad sticking up for her. And the funny thing is, she can stick up for herself pretty good, as you saw with Tyreek Hill and that latest exchange.
My God.
But the amazing thing is, she has a huge fan base of super loyal people. And before I could even get in to respond to somebody, her fans will step in and just go after the person in a good way. But they'll use it, using facts and data and talking. They'll go after the person who's trying to be negative with her. So it's really extraordinary how people will stand up and as a group, they support what she's trying to do. And she has a really loyal group of people that follow her. So, but it's the guys on the inside, and women too, but the ones that are on the inside of the sport that really understand it. Like when she does her videos, I have to have half of it explained to me.
Oh, okay.
I'm not on the inside of everything going on in the NFL or in the PGA or anything. So once you get if you're one of those guys that you're watching it every day, you're in it, then you think it's hilarious because she really captures the inside parts of the game.
Eric Zane for HelloFresh. You're going to save 60% plus free shipping. Pay attention. Here are the options for you. Take the family out to eat, and then you're bankrupt by the end of the month. That's out. Okay, I'm going to plan a bunch of meals. I'm going to do research, hours on end, go to the store, buy all this stuff. Somebody's going to crash into my car. I'm going to get home. Nobody's going to like it because I didn't do the recipe right. The instructions weren't clear. It goes to waste in the fridge. Blow even more money. And then everybody thinks you're a terrible preparer of meals. Or you can call upon America's #1 meal kit, HelloFresh. I would just like you to try this. You know, I mean, we go way back, you and I. So just try this just once. Go to HelloFresh.com/Zane60, and then you'll use the code Zane60 for 60% off plus free shipping. So the box comes to your door after you make the various checks of what you like and how much food you actually want to get, and then let it play out. It comes to your door. The instructions are perfect. They're on individual cards. All of the portions are measured so that nothing goes to waste. You plate the food, you pass it along to the family at the table, and they're like, this is fantastic. I am not kidding you. It is a life game changer. HelloFresh. Again, you go to HelloFresh.com/Zane60 and use the code Zane60, and that's 60% off plus free shipping. Now, this offer does not last forever, so now is the perfect time. As I'm talking to you, log on, do it, sign up, and then get ready to have some fun and be admired by your family and friends. And make sure you tell me how it goes. Reach out to me on email or whatever. Scream at me when I'm running down the street and tell me that I was right, because I am right. HelloFresh is fantastic. I swear by it. I love these folks. HelloFresh.com/Zane60 and use the code Zane60 for 60% off plus free shipping. They didn't become America's #1 meal kit by doing anything other than being the best. Thank you, HelloFresh. People ask me all the time, Eric, Zane, how do you do it? You have to balance so many things. You have to have your hand in just about everything in order to make a living. How are you doing it? Well, frankly, when I started, I have no idea. I think I kind of just muscled my way through it. But there is one secret that I've never really talked about until now. It's a book. It's called Elevate, Build a Business Where Everybody Wins. The author is a dude named Tommy Mello, which sounds like a guy who was a roadie for the Grateful Dead. But no, this guy's a genius, and you got to get this book. He's built a $200 million business with over 700 employees. And in this book, I discovered some skills and things that I can do to help me in what I do. It applies to just about any line of work. Kind of like if you're sick and tired of working for the man, you can become the man or woman, you know, gender stuff, or else everybody's going to get mad. What I'm suggesting is you check out the book. It's a quick read, and what you will gain when you read it will blow your mind. Tommy Mello. The book is Elevate, Build a Business Where Everybody Wins. Trust me on this. Get a copy of Elevate at elevateandwin.com/Zane. All right, you might have to back up and get that one again, but here, I'll tell you again. elevateandwin.com/Zane. You're going to love it. When you go to elevateandwin.com/Zane, you will get 5 exclusive bonuses, including a winning ads and application page checklist, the interview bundle, the 7 steps of delegation, and more. If you're in a rush, Elevate is also available on Amazon, though you will only receive the free bonuses when you go to elevateandwin.com/Zane. Read it, and when you finish the book, get ready to have your life changed. Hill has a bad record. I mean, this guy, if she said, hey, Dad, I'm going out with Tyreek Hill. I mean, for me, I'd be like, no, that's not a good thing. And so you must have been proud knowing that she friend zoned that guy pretty quick when he went in and fired and shot his shot.
Yeah, we did look up a lot about him, and I don't know what he's like personally, but he does have a great sense of humor. He does have he's said a lot of funny things over the course of time, done funny things. I guess he's done some other things that I'm sure he's not proud of, but he does have a very good sense of humor. So we felt like he wouldn't take this personally when she kind of shut him down. He would look, and he kind of responded in kind with a little meme and said like, look what we're doing, kind of thing.
Okay.
Some movie star. So I think he gets it's not all viz is good viz, but most of the time, any kind of viz is good, right? And,
yeah.
But he seemed like he's a good sport, and he was going to take it the right way. But but it's really exploded. I mean, she really came up with something that I hate to say put him in this place, but she really was able to go toe to toe with him without being intimidated, but also without insulting him.
Oh, absolutely,
she has respect for him as an athlete. But it was very funny when she first told me, "Here's what I'm thinking about tweeting." I just broke out laughing, and it's so funny because I'd seen the video where he'd gotten burned at his training camp for kids, and that kid that burned him might be a future first round draft pick, but that kid put a move on him, and the whole camp went nuts, right? Yep. So that video's been out there for a while, and then for Annie to comment on it was just hilarious. So I just broke up laughing. She did have a couple other funny ones too that were good, but that one was great.
She is a fun follow. Now I know she's on all of them, but I just happen to only be looking at Annie Agar, ANNIEAGAR on Twitter. But if there's a social media that exists, she's on it, and that's how
she is. And you're right. And I'm really proud of her. She's had support from people, but this is all created out of nothing. Like what she's done. I feel that people try to do things like this, but she did it herself, and it wasn't like she had an army of people. And the funny thing is now people say, well, so how many writers do you have, and who does all your filming and editing and all your research? And so they go, it's me. There's not a team of people that do any of this stuff. But she loves to research. She loves sports. She digs into stuff. She reads tons of blogs to learn what people are talking about. And then she just finds a way to creatively put it into very short snippets that are hard hitting. And you've seen stuff just cuts so fast. The editing is just incredible.
Yeah.
But she does a great job at it. So I'm really proud of her. The bad thing is, Eric, I used to think being a professional athlete was a pretty cool thing myself. And so now I'm like fourth on the family depth chart. So my son is, Johnny is very well known. He's a motivational speaker now. My wife wrote a book about his life. Yeah. So she's a superstar. My daughter Annie now has vaulted past everybody. And the only saving grace at this point, my youngest daughter is she's young. She is not long before she passes me by. But I'm fourth on the family depth chart, even with what I think was kind of cool at the time. But it's old news now, and but it's fun that they've all are moving past me. I'm waiting for my youngest daughter to move on by me as well.
That's why I call you the first family of awesome. That's the name I came up with you. You are the first family of awesome.
The good thing is, we all know the root cause of how it's happened is I outsourced all the work to Becky to raise the kids and then make them good kids, and then I just sit back and take all the credit for it.
You see, that's
it's a great model.
That is a veteran thing to say. Yet another feather in your cap. This is why it all comes back to the first family of awesome. Smart people. This is great.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, but one final thing.
No
you're absolutely right, and I'm glad you brought that up because Annie created something with no overhead. It's just it's a product that's created in her brain. And because of the medium being the internet, we live in a golden age of being able to create. And how wonderful is that? Back in the day, people like her, the steps that would have to be taken to enter a male-dominated field and even make enough money to live, it would be very, very difficult. But she, because of fertile environment and her skills in her brain, have allowed this to happen, and that is awesome. I love that.
It really is, and she's got a fabulous agent. This lady is really a driver, and she really looks out for Annie's best interest because it's a competitive world. Bad things can happen sometimes, and her agent just is phenomenal. She owes a lot to her as well. But we as parents really trust the agent that she has. And
good.
This lady is just incredible.
Yeah, that sounds like a wonderful relationship. I'm really, really, really proud of her. Please pass that along and say hi to everybody. I love them very much and love you too. And I thank you for the time, Jeff Agar. And you have a great rest of the day. And I'll see you very soon. Okay, I hope.
Sounds great, Eric. Yeah, we really appreciate it. You've been a great supporter from us from the very beginning. We were first doing 5K races, so we can't thank you enough for all you've done to try to help push Johnny's message along, and now Annie's and everybody else's. So thanks again, Eric.
As always, I honestly, I could spend time talking about every single member of this family, but we just don't have enough time. There's so much material there. It's incredible. Oh my God!
I can make stuff up that doesn't exist too. So
yes,
make myself like that.
Okay, Jeff.
Thanks a lot, Eric.
Thank you, pal. I'll talk to you. Bye bye.